Hello, and today we will be playing Zomewhere Else. Should we go to a hospital? I feel like this is going to be hard to explain. Yes, we need to amputate. What? He sniggers at your reaction, giving your leg a couple soothing pats. Chill. I'm kidding. I can have this fixed up in no time. Fred puts his palm to the ground. Just like when he was growing the berries, it begins to glow a light green. As I was explaining, I can grow, manipulate, and whatever anything. So for this, we're going to need some. You see some thick green leaf-like things sprout out of the ground. The edges rimmed in thorns, which briefly fills you with dread before you recognize it. You know what this is. Fred snaps one of the thick leaves off and raises it up at you. It's aloe. Something? Yes, aloe vera. Aloe vera is good for treating burns, and sure, it is usually only effective for lighter cases. All it takes is a special Fred touch to really amp up its usefulness. As he says that, he stands back up, tossing the leaf into the air and letting it flip once before catching it again tightly. Besides, it'll still be useful. It's anti-inflammatory. It promotes circulation and inhibits the growth of bacteria and... Okay, I get it. Jeez, you don't need to sell it to me, dude. Yeah, I know. Just having some fun. Anyways, like I said, just rubbing this all over your foot would probably hurt like hell and not do much. So we need to add some magic. I suppose. Yeah. Well, not just a root grows up from the base of the tree, arcing upwards and pulsing into the bark before stepping itself off and sinking back underground. After a moment, some sap begins to drip from the improvised tap, which Fred coats his hand with and proceeds to coat your foot in it. His touch weird nice of pain, and you wince, but thankfully he's working fast. He bites into the edge of the aloe leaf, peeling some of the green skin back and spitting it out onto the ground before rubbing the semi-clear, goopy innards all over your foot as well. Nearly immediately, the pain begins to soothe, but it's still somewhat pleasant. Lastly, holds his hands on either side of your foot, each one glowing a familiar faint green, which quickly begins to surround your foot as well. The glowing, hastily thrown together organic salve begins to sift and flow over your foot, feeling like you were holding it under a faucet. Before your very eyes, the nasty burn begins to fade away, taking the pain along with it. It's like that little moss pollen from earlier, but even more effective, as it's even growing your fur back too. See? Magic. Whoa. Just wait a bit more, and it'll be done, buddy. You can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I have to admit, this is pretty freaking cool. Thanks. No problem. It's taken me years of practice and study to get this stuff down. It takes a lot of knowledge and experience with plants to get it right. Is this why you didn't take me to the hospital? Yeah. Fred scratches the back of his head. Well, yes and no. But with how much there is that needs to be said, there needs to be a certain order to it, and that's fairly low on the priority list right now, believe it or not. I swear I'll explain everything that I'm able to tell in due time, Chad, but you'll have to bear with me and wait. What do you mean you are able to? There's a lot of stuff I can't just tell because reasons. Is it really the best excuse you can come up with? Come on, why are you holding out so much of this? I deserve to know. There's stuff that I can't tell you, not because I want to, Chad. It's because I can't. And based on what's happened With authorities follow, the more you learn, the more you'll be in danger. Hmm. Believe me, you're better off not knowing. But something tells me you'll eventually find out anyways. Yeah. I have so many questions. First Martha and now all this. It's too much. My head hurts. Yep, sorry, buddy. But hey, check out your foot. At his suggestion, you look down at your foot, finding it completely healed up. Reaching down and poking at it, you find the skin still a little sensitive, but certainly less painful than it was before. With a smile and a foot stands back up, helping you get back to your feet as well. You shouldn't have any trouble walking now. Give it a try. You're not hesitantly putting your foot back down on the ground. It takes a moment for you to fully plant it back down, though. Finding that to be okay enough, you take a few steps, still a little hesitant to pull your full weight on it. But once you do, you confirm that it really does feel a lot better. Wow, nice. See, I told you, it's amazing. Thanks, Fred. Anytime, buddy. Anyway, let's get the hell out of this forest already. I'll finish explaining everything I can when we get home. Sure, sounds like a plan. Fred walks over to the piece of bark seated on the roots, then turns to the side and looks at you expectantly. Well, hop on. Oh, and hold on tight. Wait, what? Are you not walking back down the... Are we not walking back down the mountain? No. That'll take way too long. Just remember back in school when we used to ride downhill on cardboard? I vaguely... Okay, then yeah, just think of it like that, except this will be so much more fun. You raise a brow at him, but ultimately decide to heed his command, carefully climbing up on and sitting down on the smooth inner surface of the bark. The root platform it's sitting on is constantly shifting beneath you, causing it to be a little unsteady. I doubt it, but I suppose I have to admit you do seem to know what you're doing. I should probably listen more. Maybe if I listen well enough, it'll inspire you to listen to me for a change. Maybe. Sorry about all that, by the way. I was struggling to keep all three of us alive by myself, so I needed you to work with me so just I could focus on what needed to be done. No, it's okay. I get where you're coming from. I should probably apologize to seeing as I've kinda gone off on you a lot today. Sorry. At least you're fairly good at calming me down when it starts up. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. It's okay. Anyways, we can still go down the river if you'd like. There's a river nearby that goes all the way down to the park. Fred slowly gets onto the bark too, but he stands on it in front of you, almost like he's on a big surfboard. With some hand movements, he summons up some ribbons out of the bark to wrap around his legs, holding him in place. Right, you mean like surf down the river on this thing? Yeah, he summons more ribbons to hold you in place as well. For some reason, the idea of this incredibly improvised mode of transportation still coming with seatbelts amuses you. Well, as nice as the idea of a bath sounds right now, I'd rather not get all wet. There's a moment of silence as you look up at Fred's back. He slowly turns his head to look back at you with the biggest, toothless grin you ever seen him make. Then, in the lowest, most sensual voice he could muster, I'll make you wet soon. What? Wait, what? Here we go. Not giving you a second to respond further, Fred motions his hand forward as if commanding an arm to march, and with a small hop, you start moving downhill. Whoa, too fast. You completely forget about Fred's weirdness as you cling onto the bark with your life. The wind on your face causes your eyes to water and your stomach to tingle. And despite your panic, Fred's as calm as ever, guiding you down with slow and measured hand motions. You are quite literally surfing down the face of a mountain on a wave of roots. Despite your insistence on not getting wet, the rainy weather yesterday left plenty of mud in your path, so instead of water, both you afraid are getting splattered in mud. Saying this thing didn't come with a windshield too, huh, Chad? Between the speed, the mud, and your exhaustion, you're panicking probably a bit too hard in your defense. Fred is coming dangerously close to hitting stuff as he makes tight turns around trees. Yeah, slow down, slow down, slow down. In a panic, you lunge for Fred's legs, often to cling onto those instead, since they seem more stable and easier to hold into than the edges of the bark. Fred regards you with a warm smile, then returns his focus to the path ahead. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Just watch out where you touch, Chad. Shut up and slow the hell down. I promise to try to do at least one of those things. Unfortunately for you, it was not slowing down. What made it even worse was the setting sun made visibility fairly poor, but at the same time, it's actually pretty surreal. If you weren't going down the mountain so fast, it would actually be a fairly beautiful sight worth relaxing and taking in. Attempting to just focus on the tranquility around you to help stifle some of your trauma, you eventually realize you must be getting fairly close to town. You peek out from behind Fred's legs to test your theory, only to see that you're very quickly running out of solid ground. Fred, stop! Hmm? Oh, there. You're gonna get us killed. Stop this. To your complete and utter horror, his response is only to grin and speed up. Wanna see a cool trick? No, no, no. I've already died once and it's not fun. I don't want to do it again. Despite your protest, you continue hurtling towards the edge. Fred, seriously, stop. Grab on Chad. No, no, no. As you get close to the edge, you can notice that Fred bends down a little bit, pulling his arm back, and thrusts a body uppercut skyward, summoning a massive root right at the edge of the cliff ahead of you. It's angled upwards like a ramp. No! Your speed continues to increase towards it. You squeeze your eyes shut, and a moment later, you're forcibly whipped backwards, followed by the feeling of nothingness beneath you. You're probably clinging onto Fred's legs tight enough now to snap to bones. Why did I agree to this? I'm such an idiot. Fuck. What do I do? Quit being baby and open your eyes, Chad. You initially refuse, but after several moments, you realize you haven't crashed into anything, least of all the ground. Once you have this realization, you slowly force your eyes open. You're actually flying. More marble is just a bunch of tiny blobs in the distance ahead of you, and past the warm orange glow of the sun reflects off the sea. That dull, almost intimate glow bathes the whole world in a peaceful yet somewhat light. As the wind blows soothingly through your fur, your grip loosens on your psychotic friend's legs. Whoa. As you gawk at the beautiful scene before you, you eventually realize that you're not falling fast at all. Glancing up, you see a gigantic leaf hanging above your head that's acting like a parachute. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Do you do this often? From time to time, yeah. Since the forest is so dense, people tend to avoid it for fear of getting lost. So since I know my way around, it's kind of like a safe haven for me. Oh yeah, I remember Kathy forbidding Thorny to get into the forest. Yeah, that's good. People rarely make it any deeper than a couple hundred meters in, so we should be fine. That being said, we should probably land here soon and walk the rest of the way, just in case last thing this poor town needs is a UFO scare too. Hey Fred? Yeah, buddy? What are we going to do about Kathy and Thorny? And don't worry, Chad. I know you're worried, but that's why I brought you out here today in the first place. What do you mean? Hold on. By controlling the size of the leaf parachute, Fred is able to speed up your descent, but still managing to keep it controlled until he lands near the top of the forest upper canopy. After surfing along the tops of the trees for a bit, Fred finds a patch light enough to pass through, arching his way down. He carefully rides downward, using the branches below him like stairs until you both finally fall back below the leaves. It actually seems to catch Fred off guard, and he hastily uppercuts to summon another angled branch to land on. Whoa! As you slide down the ramp, Fred seems to lose control. Before you know it, the bark beneath you splits and blades send you both flying. Ah! Thankfully, you manage to land on some bushes to prevent fall damage while Fred gets tangled up in some branches and finds above. You can only hear his weight for a moment, and eventually they snap one by one, dropping him into your bush, as well as sparing him any further pain. He takes a moment to collect himself, but after letting out a relieved sigh, he begins to chuckle under his breath. He joins, since it's hard to deny that it was pretty funny. Sorry, I always have a little trouble landing. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. He sits up in the bush before hopping out and helping you out as well. He speaks while helping brush debris off of your head and shoulders. The reason we did all this was because of Kathy and Tony. Remember how they said Doosan changed suddenly and without warning? Yeah? What does that have to do with what happened today? Well, if my hunch is correct, then the only way you'd be able to stand a chance against him was to gain knowledge and experience. Wait. Are you saying you basically brought me out here to grind for XP? XP? Oh, right. I did use a video game analogy before, huh? Well, not exactly, no. I wanted Bruce to teach you what you needed to know. He pauses, scratching at his head as he searches for the right words to use, eventually letting out a sigh. God, this is hard. To use your comparison, I wanted Bruce to teach you a foundation to actually gain XP on. Otherwise, it's kind of just like farming when you're already at max level. I think. Very helpful, Fred. Thank you. He glares at you with his cheeks puffed out, and you can't help but laugh at the sight. I told you I was shit at this. I'm doing my best, okay? Sorry. Anyway, come on. He beckons you with your hand, and you both begin walking towards Lower Bobble once again. Alright, how about I say it like this then? The moment you awaken to your powers, you are doomed. What? What does that mean? I don't know if I crossed your mind before, but what we can do is no ordinary thing. If someone ever finds out what we're capable of, it wouldn't go well. So you'll have two real options. Either you come to understand and live in harmony with your abilities, or eventually, inevitably catch the attention of the wrong people and wind up as some fucked up guinea pig strapped to a table. That last sentence makes you a little nauseous. No, thank you, I'm good. Yeah. So that's why I figured it would be better for us to go with the former. Learn how to fight, basically. You're going to need to know that in order to be able to do something with Doosan. I actually think I'm starting to get a little bit. Well, this is only scratching the surface. As hard as it sounds, Tony said he and Kathy are holding on for a while, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't hurry, but at least we have some time. We definitely should hurry, and that we will, buddy. Good. After more walking, you finally begin to recognize your surroundings. Before long, you're able to make out the distinctive view of the park's bridge ahead of you, and no small amount of relief surges through your body. Finally, you made it back to the park's bridge. Scanning over the area, you can see a couple people here and there, but nobody particularly young or in a school uniform. It's probably pretty late then. A group turns their noses up at you as they pass, probably offended by how dirty you both are. They probably think you're homeless, even though you were definitely far less dirty than this during the brief time you actually were homeless, ironically. Fred merely shrugs them off, though, walking over to the edge of the bridge and leaning over, At first you think he's just taking a break and looking down into the water below, but he keeps looking further and further over until, hey Sam, can you come here for a sec? I need some help. Uh, sure. Walk up next to him, peering over the edge to try and spot what exactly Fred is messing around with. No matter how hard you look, though, you can't see anything. It's just a river. There's nothing floating in it or... Whoa! Without warning, something sails you from behind and you tumble forward over the edge, falling 2 or 3 meters down into the shallow water below. After swimming back to your feet, gasping for breath as water pours off of you, you shake your head around, splattering even more all over the place. You blink several times as your brain tries to process what's happened. Eventually, turn your attention back upwards to spot Fred leaning over the railing, rests his head on one of his hands while grinning down at you. Whoops, my hand slipped. He snickers to himself while you glare at him, completely drenched and yet still fuming. What the fuck do you mean you hand slipped? That was a big selfie, jerk. And you do realize I have a phone, right? It's not even mine. Kathy's going to be so... You begin digging through your pockets to pull it out and wave it up at Fred to enhance your point, but your heart sinks as you keep coming up empty-handed. You mean this phone? Your attention returns to him, and he idly waving a familiar-looking phone back and forth. That eating grin still plastered up across his face. Relax, buddy. You really need to have more faith in your old pal Fred, yeah? I know what I'm doing sometimes. Without chuckle, he pockets the phone and then, much to your horror, climbs up on the railing. Look out below. Wait, Fred, no. Once again, knowing your pleas, Fred throws himself off the bridge, crashing down to the water next to you, almost like he intended to make the biggest splash possible, splattering your face with water once again. He stands up dramatically, throwing his head backwards and splattering even more water everywhere before running his fingers through his hair and looking over at you with half-lidded eyes. Heh. Told you I would get you wet. Oh, fuck off. You splashed some water at him, and he laughed, shielding his face with his hand and finally dropping before a sexy look. You're such an ass. What the hell was the point of all this? Now I'm sold. Freezing my ass off for you just destroyed both our phones. Well, I figured since those monsters seem to sniff the air a lot, they were tracking you guys by scent. Well, Moffat's scent, more likely. Though I'm not sure why. Either way, he was carrying you for a long time, so his scent was all over you. Though it's not a particularly bad scent, polleny with a hint of manly sweetness, fitting for a guy like him, I suppose. And someone or something might try to follow that scent back to our place. That if we were totally covered in mud. I guess that's fair. A warning would have been nice, though. Would have, yes. But it's funnier this way. Oh, haha, my sides. You're a real comedian, Fred. Right? Anyways, I think we're good to go home now. Fred climbs out of the water, furiously shaking his whole body to get as much of the water out of his fur as he can. Afterwards, he turns around and sends a hand out for you, which you take. You mirror him, shaking yourself off as well, which quickly fades into a shiver as the cool night air wraps around your already cold, wet body. Alright, let's go. Sure. Sensing the tension in your voice, Fred's ears drooping, and he scratches awkwardly at his cheek. Hey, look, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have. No. It's just, our phones. That was a really stupid move, Fred. Oh, hey. No worries. Look. He digs into his pocket once again and tosses your phone back to you, and you barely manage to catch it once you do, though. You see that not only is it pretty much completely dry, there's no damage to it whatsoever. Wait, what? How? How can you imagine do that? Fred flinches, shaking his head quickly and putting a finger to his lips with his wide eyes. You quickly realize your mistake and awkwardly duck your head, quietly apologizing under your breath. Uh, anyways, that's not me. My jacket is just waterproof. Oh, that's actually kind of incredible, man. What else have they come up with in the last 10 years, I wonder? Fred chuckled, shaking his head. More than you expect. Less than you hope, I wager. We've delayed enough, though. We gotta catch a cold like this. He let out a sigh, handing your phone back over to him. Since you don't have a jacket infused with the magic of modern technology, your pockets will probably destroy it. And whose fault is that? It's truly a mystery. He chuckles himself while you glare at him, turning and beckoning you to follow with a hand wave. You both make your way back up to the woods, passing over it and heading over towards the park's lookout. By the time you reach it, the sun has almost fully sunk below the horizon, banishing the intimate orange glow, and plunging your surroundings into darkness that is soon banished by the park's lamps blinking to life around you. You continue out of the park onto the street in direction of the cafe. So, weatherproof pockets, huh? Do those come in handy doing whatever it is you do? Sometimes, after doing it for so long, even something super situational could suddenly become handy, so it's nice to always be prepared. Jeez, just how long have you been doing this stuff? I mean, anyway, like 2 years? Try 9. Oh, wow, no wonder you're so experienced. Yeah, and imagine all the experience I have to bear now, too. Why are you like this? Fred's laughter echoes out over the mostly empty streets, and all you can do is sigh. The rest of your walk back is made in silence, arriving back at the cafe after what feels like years away. You approach the front door, but as soon as your hand lands on the handle, Fred interrupts you. No, not that one. Let's try the door in the back. Uh, why? Because this door's locked, and I don't have the key. But the back door isn't locked. Oh no, it is. But I do have that key. Why? I think Jenny said something about how the front door should only be openable by the manager or something. Maybe symbolic, or maybe she's just a little crazy. Yeah, okay, fair. With a chuckle, Fred leads you around into the alleyway on the building's right, procuring a set of keys from his pockets. He opens the door here and puts it inside, holding it open for you, setting it and relocking it once you're both in. Looking around, you notice a door to your left and ahead of you, and some stairs on the right. Oh, okay. This door leads outside, then. Geez, I really need to make Fred or Jenny give me a tour of this place. Fred goes upstairs and you follow. Once you reach the third floor, Fred walks over to the apartment door, stopping for a moment to look back at you. Follow me quickly to the bathroom. We don't want the whole floor getting wet. Alright. Fred opens the door with another key in his keychain, and you both enter. You shut the door behind you, and then you both quickly make your way to the bathroom. Alrighty, in the tub. Chop chop. Oh, okay. You climb into the tub with Fred right behind you. As much sense as that makes, considering the circumstances, the realization that you're now in the shower alone with Fred has your heart rate starting to increase. Without any hesitation, his shirt and his pants follow. What are you doing? Well, walking around in soaking wet clothes kind of defeat the purpose of us racing to the bathroom, doesn't it? Speaking of which, hurry up and strip. Uh, alright. Well, what do you mean, well? You can't exactly wash your clothes with you still in them. You don't exactly need to be here while I take them off. But I do exactly want to be here while you take them off. You've already seen me naked, Fred. You're perfectly capable of waiting for them outside. Yeah, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to do this. Fred closes the short distance between you and a single step, suddenly seeming 10 feet tall as he stares deeply into your eyes, his lips practically touching yours. His warm breath tickles at your nose, sending a shiver down your spine. He reaches a hand up and your face heats up and you instinctively clamp your eyes shut. Memories flood back into your mind of the exact sensation Fred used to love teasing you like this back then, didn't he? His hand rests on your chest, and after a moment he begins to unbutton your jacket with extreme care. Fred, what are you doing? Your eyes hesitantly open up once again, and the first thing they land on are his firm pecs. You frantically drag them away, only to look up to his face to see how intensely focused he is on the task at hand, which makes your face even redder. With a playful smirk, he finishes undoing your jacket, gently guiding one of your arms out of the sleeve, followed by the other. There. He's intentionally keeping his voice low and breathy, and after draping your jacket over the door, he turns back to you with that damn smile on his face. I can take my clothes off on my own, you know? I know, I just like to tease you. I can. Hands return to your chest once again, and a part of you tells you to bat him away, but you just stand there, letting him do his work in peace. Inevitably, your eyes begin to wander back down his body, admiring his musculature, your heart by this point pounding furiously inside your head as they trail down far enough you notice he's finished undoing your shirt. You take it upon yourself to remove your shirt yourself while Fred starts folding up the already removed clothes and piling them up. Once you take it off, you hand it over and Fred folds it as well, adding it to the pile. Fred then grabs your undershirt from the bottom and tugs it upwards. Again, some part of you wants to stop him, but you merely raise your arms above your head and let him remove it, peeling the last layer of filth away, finally exposing your bare chest to him. The shirt continues to drip into his hands, so he wrings it out before folding it and adding it to the pile. Almost on autopilot, you move your hands down to your pants and okay, I'll get to work while you take a shower. Sound good, buddy? You freeze, looking back up and blinking at him as he's already moving to step back out of the tub. Well, Chad, what were you trying to do there? Fred looks away, focusing on opening the shower door while you remove your pants, which lands with a wet splat on the floor of the tub, leaving you just as your boxers. Fred goes to step out of the shower. Alright, Al. Wait. You stop him by wrapping your arms around his stomach from behind, pressing your head into his back. For the first time, it seems he's the one frozen in place. Fred. Yeah? He doesn't fight against you at all, balancing himself with a foot on the edge of the tub and a hand on the door. Thank you. For everything. Your grip tightens on him a bit, and as a soft smile crosses over his face, he rests one of his hands on top of yours. You're welcome, Chan. I really do care about you, you know? I'll always be there for you. Got it? I'll count on it. You finally let him go. He seems a bit sad about it before finally fully exiting the shower. Alrighty, boxes too, okay? Your mind clouded in a pleasant haze. You slip your thumbs under the waistband of your boxers and drop them without a second thought. Fully exposing yourself, you kick them up into your hand and give them to Fred. Thanks, now I have something to sniff next time Fred! Just kidding. Or am I? Don't be a perv, Fred. Besides, I doubt it smells like anything but muggy water anyway. Well, we won't know until we find out, will we? With a familiar, playful grin painted across his face, he slowly lifts your underwear to his face. Dude. He allowed stopping long before they got close enough to his face and added them to the pile. I'll bring you a towel in a minute. Can't leave it on the toilet? Yeah, that'll be fine. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Have fun, Chad. In the shower? Just take your time. Relax, you know. The water's probably plenty warm by now, so. Sure, I guess. Fred nods, picking up the pile of clothes and heading out, closing the door behind him. He closed the shower's faucet glass door and turned back to the faucet, pulling the stopper that activates the shower head. Soon, comfortably warm water pours down over your sore, aching body. The day sure was quite a day. He began to clean himself, careful to not apply too much pressure on the more tender parts of your body, at least the ones is helping your muscles relax. Bruce almost killed me. Monsters, Mothic, even freaking surfing downhill through a forest. It's just too much. And it worries me that I can't see things getting any easier. Then Fred said he usually gets Bruce to do the explaining. Does that mean this has happened before? Doesn't that kind of imply that there are others with powers? If so, they must be good at hiding it. What did I get myself into? And Fred said that we'll all be back tomorrow. Is he serious after everything that happened today? Monsters, magic, Fred. I just don't know what to think about anything anymore. Once your mind finally frees itself from itself, you realize that your autopilot had taken over and you were already clean. You shut the water off and step out, finding that Fred must have delivered your towel while you are lost in your thoughts since you don't remember hearing the bathroom door open and shut again. Unfortunately, it seems that the towel is also the only thing he left. With a sigh, you wrap it around your waist and head out of the bathroom. You make it back to the living room, finding that, mercifully, the fireplace's warm, crackling glow has filled the space with a pleasant ambient heat. Fred is still in his boxes in the kitchen, though it looks like he's just about done preparing food. Hey, just in time. Why are you still naked? Well, our clothes just finished drying. It's just us here, you know. Nothing wrong with a couple of dudes hanging out in their underwear, right? It's the same, though. Just a few minutes faster and you would have seen an entirely new monster. Good God, Fred, seriously? How have you gotten so used to this that you can even crack such lame jokes? Huh, sorry. It's just, after 9 full years of this kind of stuff, joking about it is one of the few ways to keep yourself sane, you know? It's not that I've normalized it, per se, I guess you could just say I'm jaded, is all. Fred grabs some bowls from the counter and brings them to the small table next to the fireplace. By the way, your clothes are dry now too, so feel free to go get dressed. Oh yeah, thanks. You head over to the fireplace, finding your precious undergarments nice and warmed by a crackling fire, but put them on quickly. You put them on quickly, then turn back to Fred. Fred acknowledges you with a nod and passes the spot next to him on the couch, which you move to fill. Before you reach your spot, though, Fred continues talking. It's not like I get to fight the monsters every day or every month, but it's common enough, especially since I'm used to just helping Bruce out with them. Not that he really needs my help, but lending a hand can't hurt, right? I see. You sit next to Fred, your leg accidentally brushing against his since you sat fairly close. He doesn't seem to mind, though. Well, can I at least ask some questions? My head's still spinning from all this, and I really appreciate something to help make sense of it all. Sure, go ahead, but do know that there are some questions that I won't be able to answer, not because I don't want to, but because you can't. Yes, thank you for understanding. Hmm. But hey, let's eat in the meantime. Don't want to get cold. I was gonna cook, but apparently Jenny left our lunch here just in case we came back. You involuntarily cringe as you reach out and grab your food. Oh boy. She was probably pretty mad, huh? We kept her we kinda kept her waiting. Yeah, her handwriting on the note was still legible, so she wasn't murderously angry, but she went out on a dig hunt, so I think that helped her keep her cool. Wait, what? Yeah, she went on a date with a guy for the hardware store. I don't really blame her, considering the circumstances. Yeah, seeing as we said we'd meet at lunchtime, it's night. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she got us poke bowls. Thank Susie, but in bowl form. Kind of. I can kinda see that now that you're missing it. It's super colorful. It looks yummy. You take your first several big bites in rapid succession as the smell of the food reminds you just how hungry you are. Seems you're not the only one, as Fred does the same. After scarfing down a large portion of it, your food frenzy settles enough to let you finally continue talking. So, in order of priority, I guess, do we have to worry about the monsters? No, not at all. We haven't had any trouble while living Marble so far, right? Right. Bruce handles them, usually. He's pretty good about it. Probably wouldn't have had much trouble without the ones today either. With the ones today either, but I kinda screwed up today. But I'll have time to apologize tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, that's fair. Next, what are our next steps when it comes to Kathy and Tony? I can't help but worry. Yeah, I get it. Don't worry. For now, we just need to learn more about Dusan. For what you've told me, I'd be willing to bet that he's been influenced too. Influence? Well, has powers like us, basically, though we don't know exactly to what extent, so that's why we need to be careful. Either way, people usually don't have a complete personality self without something shady going on, so it's worth looking into no matter what. Can't you just do something about it? What about Bruce? Bruce doesn't care enough about the going on of us mortals down here at the foot of the mountain. He usually just stays up there, only coming down sporadically and for reasons that are specifically not helping us. Mortals. I mean, morsels. Well, what about you? Smacking him around with vines is exactly going to achieve much towards actually helping. That's why I want to look into him more. Hell, even if he, even if we do find something big, he may still be out of my league entirely. Then, what about Kathy and Tony? I'm sure they'll be alright for the time being, but if things got from bad to worse, we definitely will have to do something about it. We can always check on Tony in the mornings and ask him how the situation is going. Alright. Fred nods, letting out a long yawn in between bites of his waning meal. No matter what, though, never use your powers in public where other people can see. Don't even tell anyone about it, not even Jenny. Got it? Like, for example, that night you went back to your house. If I hadn't come after you, those guys could have found out, or worse, shot you to death. Well, they already tried the shooting part. Wait, How did you manage to jump over the... Fred just looks at you, a bemused, very patient look on his face. Oh, well then, what about the door? Fred continues to munch while still looking at you. So then, does that mean the whole faucet clog thing the other day was mastered too? Didn't you just say that we shouldn't use our powers in public? Fred gulps down his last bite, setting the now empty bowl back on the table before looking back at you with a grin. Why do you think I made you step out? I found some fresh roots and leaves in the sink after the water cleared. His face immediately falters and he awkwardly looks away, scratching at his cheek. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I should try to be more careful about it. But I mean, seeing as you didn't bring it up at the time, you probably just thought it was related to the clock, yeah? Pretty much, yeah. Nice. Still, I'm probably fairly lucky it was you to notice it. Either way, though, always keep this very pertinent saying in mind. Do as I say, not as I do. Haha, yeah. Okay, so what about when Dusan beat the shit out of me? Remember how I healed your foot? Yes, it's like that. But your whole body, I didn't exactly have the privacy of a forest to just do whatever, so I had to scavenge for stuff in secret and apply it to you in the bathtub. Even then, it wasn't just as simple as gluing a bunch of leaves to you with sap and wriggling my fingers. Since I have such intimate control over plants and their like, I can sort of use them as extensions of my own body. For instance, if I pump some sap into your body, I can use it to get a feel for what your insides are like. Kind of like an X-ray, but more detailed. Um, isn't it having sap in your bloodstream like really bad? I feel like that's speed running a heart attack. I mean, yeah, if you just injected sap directly to somebody, it wouldn't be good. But with me, it's magic. He wiggles his fingers mysteriously at you, and you roll your eyes at him while he chuckles at his joke before continuing. Anyway, once I got a feel for what needed to be done exactly, I basically used a bunch of plant-based medicines amped up with magic to speed up your healing process. Like penicillin, for instance. You know what that is, right? Yeah, it's some antibiotic, right? Yeah, derived from certain types of mold. Naturally, with magic, I can culture special versions that do a lot more than just fight off bacteria, different from the process they use to make the medicine in hospital labs. I basically just did stuff like that to help reset your ribs, close up any cuts, repair internal damage. I think you get the idea. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of energy to do it all, but since it's for you, it was all worth it. He flashes you a grin and a wink. You inevitably bless and look away, chewing on the last bit of your dinner. Superficial injuries, on the other hand, like your burnt foot or child's play in comparison, like you saw, I can deal with those in a matter of minutes, if not seconds. Oh, I see. You know, that made a lot of sense. How the hell are you so bad at explaining other stuff? Uh, well, I spent years practicing, studying, and understanding my own powers specifically. Not necessarily on how they work or their origins, but Bruce does know about all that stuff. If he does, I'm still a little anxious about going back to see him again. Relax, but it'll be fine. Anyway, was there anything else before we go to bed? You finally finish with your own food, placing it down on the table as well while you shake your head. Nah, I think that's enough for now. There's still a lot I don't know, but at this rate, my head's going to pop. I actually have a question for you, if you don't mind, Chad. Yeah? With everything that's happened, you coming back to life, working for Jenny, meeting Kathy and Tony, and now your powers. What's your objective? The question catches you off guard, freezing you in place for a moment. Fred watches you with a curious stare as you ponder your question. upon your answer, eventually offering him an uncertain shrug. Uh, well, I really haven't put much thought into it. Everything has happened so fast I haven't been able to stop and process all. In 1 week, I lost my job, got evicted, basically got adopted by Kathy and Tony. Met you again, got a job with Jenny, discovered that I somehow have magical powers, and then almost died. Today I almost got killed again, met a big creature that I definitely have never seen, and got to know that apparently there are some monsters going around that almost killed me, by the way. At first, all that I wanted to do is try to have a normal life. Get a job and try to rent some place and to stay, and that's it. But clearly life has had other plans for me. You can always move to another city and try again there. I can take care of Kathy and Tony, help you get to. No, there's no way I can abandon them, especially after all of this. I already owe Jenny a lot, and beyond that, there's still things I need to do here in Mother Marble, too. Like I need to find out what happened in those missing 10 years. I want to know what happened to people I used to know. And honestly, I'd be lying if I said I didn't like having powers at least somewhat. So I'd like to learn how to use them too. Okay, so in order, he begins counting out on his fingers. Get to know your powers to be able to save Kathy and Tony. Get back on your feet. Get to know what happened to the people you knew here. Understand what happened these 10 years. Not necessarily in that order, but yes. At this point, I need to try to understand more about you, Bruce, and the monsters too. Well, assuming everything goes smoothly, I promise I'll help with that because, oh boy, is there a lot to tell. You try to respond but are interrupted by a yawn, which Fred mirrors. Yeah, I guess it is. But we could worry about it all later. Let's go to bed. Yeah, honestly, I'm amazed I made it this long. I'm exhausted. Did you sleep well last night? I can definitely sleep on the couch if you want. The other room doesn't have a bed. You stand up, looking back at him with a smirk and a firm glare. Don't make me say it. You're extending your hand to Fred, but he doesn't move, staring directly into your eyes. Say it. Your cheeks slowly begin to heat up once more. You can. Sleep with me if you want. Now I'll just sleep on the couch. What? Yeah, I think it would be better for me to stay out here. I don't want to disturb you or anything. You glare at him. He stares up at you with an obviously fake, sympathetic look on his face. What is it, Chad? Is there something wrong with that arrangement? I... Damn you, Fred. What? He's so obviously toying with you now, and as much as you want to smack him or call his bluff, you swallow your pride and extend your hand to him more firmly, your cheeks glowing red at this point. I want you to sleep with me. He stares up at you, proud of his accomplishment. He tenderly takes your hand, giving it a firm squeeze, as he stands up with your help. Well, when you ask me like that, what kind of monster would I be to refuse? I hate you. He tickles booping your nose with a finger. Let's go to sleep already, muscle double boy. Fred ruffles your hair, and it's impossible to deny that you really enjoy it, but you still look away sadly. Okay? Fred nods, holding tight on your hand as he pulls your way towards the bedroom. Once you get inside, he flicks off the lights and leads you over to the bed. But before you lay down, he stops, turning to you once again. Just because there's a lot going on with the monsters, powers, and everything doesn't mean that you can't still have a normal life, you know? What do you mean? I mean, just look at me. I still have a job, travel sometimes, hang out with Leonardo from time to time. Right, he's still around? He nods, finally guiding you into bed, which you gladly go along with as you continue to hold your conversation. Yeah, from time to time, when he's not occupied with his band, as you nestle under the seats, the Fred flops in next to you, laying down sideways and resting on his arm while looking at you. He has a band now? Mm-hmm. Also, ready for me to blow your mind? He's Jenny's brother. Wait, what? Really? Yeah, and they're really similar too. That said, most of her siblings are, but don't tell her I said that. I won't. Or will I? You finally take the upper hand in your banter with Fred, actually getting him to look a little worried. Don't. She'll slap my tits real hard. Unfortunately for you, he recovers quickly, even cupping one of his pecs for emphasis. Just reach out and touch the other one. He won't mind. You shake the thought away furiously, simply nodding away before turning your head towards the wall and hurt your blush. Yeah, I know how powerful Jenny's slaps are. Yeah. Silence fills the room now, and after a minute, some shuffling behind you tells you Fred probably laid down all the way as well. So, you're just gonna freeze to death tonight, huh? You do realize you're equally as capable of snuggling up, right? You make a solid point. You start looking back over at him. You grab Fred's arm and drag it towards you. Come here, you big dumb dog. You waste no time in heeding your command, passing one arm underneath your neck and replacing your pillow with his bicep. You carefully guide his other hand down to your stomach, and as soon as it makes contact, you squeeze close. Fred's soft fur swiftly banishes the cold of the night, especially once he starts to tangle his legs above yours. He lets out a small, satisfied chuckle, idly rubbing at your belly. It sends a tingling sensation across your whole body, but the feeling is far from unpleasant. Good night, buddy. Sweet dreams. You too, Fred. Thanks. Both close your eyes and Fred's soft, rhythmic breathing lulls you quickly towards sleep. Despite all what happened today, with Fred's strong arms and wrapped around you like this, you finally feel woefully safe and protected. You could definitely get used to sleeping like this every day. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. It's a part at the end where Fred says if somehow Jenny finds out about, that part where Fred says that Jenny would slap him on the nipples, his pecs, like if she slapped him on the pecs for him revealing to anybody that her brothers and sisters act just like her. That was pretty funny, Yeah. So we got to see them together, just some alone time in this video. Then go over the day and everything that's happened with the monsters and meeting Martha and Bruce and all that. And plus Fred using his powers to slide down a mountain. All that in one day. I agree with Chad. That's kind of overwhelming to think and to go through. all that happened in just one day. So he very much wants a normal life, but everything that happened today certainly goes exactly the contrary of that. And plus, with him having powers, it certainly does feel. I mean, if I was Fred, Chad. Excuse me. If I was Chad, it would certainly make me feel like you were in some kind of a fantasy game more than real life. So all that was pretty over. All that was very overwhelming for Chad. And Fred is very knowledgeable of his powers. He studied his powers and trained for 9 years, so that explains why he's so knowledgeable about it. We're not really knowledgeable about it, but he certainly has gained enough knowledge that he's able to use his powers correctly. So they're gonna head back to the forest tomorrow, and they're gonna meet Bruce again. And still have no idea why Bruce hates Chad so much. But may not hate him, but he certainly has a strong dislike for whatever reason. I wonder if we'll ever figure out why he does not like Chad, or if he'll explain it to Chad why he doesn't like him. I think Chad at least deserves to know at least why he doesn't like him. So that's all for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.